The Valkyrie believed themselves apex predators of the galaxy. Their biology was a masterpiece of evolutionary dominance. 4 powerful limbs, housing retractable bone blades, sensory organs that detected thermal signatures across vast distances, and metabolic efficiency that allowed them to pursue prey for days without rest. For millennia, they had expanded across star systems, subjugating or exterminating lesser species. Their philosophy was simple. The universe belonged to those with the power to take it. When they discovered Earth, they saw only another hunting ground. Commander Rask stood on the bridge of the Valkyrie mothership, observing the blue planet through the viewscreen. Initial scans had detected a civilization of bipedal omnivores, soft-skinned mammals with no natural defenses. Their technology was primitive by Valkyrie standards. They had only recently achieved spaceflight, and their weapons were laughably inefficient. A simple conquest. Rask's second-in-command remarked. These humans will barely provide sport. Rask chittered in agreement, mandibles flexing with anticipation. Begin with their orbital defenses. Then target major population centers. Standard intimidation protocol. The Valkyrie battle fleet descended upon Earth's atmosphere, energy weapons charged. Their first strike disabled a primitive space station, sending it spiraling toward the planet below. Their second eliminated a cluster of communication satellites. The humans' response was immediate and unexpected. Nuclear-tipped missiles launched from concealed silos beneath Earth's oceans. Primitive projectile weapons, but deployed with mathematical precision. 3 Valkyrie destroyers erupted in silent flame before their shields could be raised. Rask's mandibles flared in surprise. They would sacrifice their own orbital infrastructure. Commander, his tactical officer reported, we're detecting thousands of smaller vessels launching from the planet's surface. On the view screen, Earth seemed to shed its skin as military craft of various designs poured from hidden bases, not the desperate scramble of prey, but the coordinated movement of something else entirely. They were waiting for us. Rask realized too late. This is not a hunt. This is a war. The first human transmission reached the Valkyrie mothership moments before the assault began. A single message, broadcast on all frequencies in perfect Valkyrie language. You think yourselves hunters. We are something you have never encountered before. Admiral Eleanor Ward of the United Earth Defense Force watched from her underground command center as humanity's response unfolded with mechanical precision. 30 years of preparation since the first Valkyrie probe had been detected entering the solar system. 30 years of unified purpose across nations that had once been bitter enemies. All units report ready, her communications officer announced. Operation Guillotine is active. Ward nodded, her weathered face illuminated by tactical displays. Begin Phase 2. The Valkyrie invasion force had expected resistance, but not coordination on this scale. Not the appearance of stealth ships emerging from Saturn's rings, nor the sudden activation of weapon platforms disguised as asteroid mining operations throughout the belt. Aboard the Valkyrie mothership, Commander Rask frantically ordered a defensive formation. How did they hide their military capabilities from our scans? His intelligence officer's response was cut short by the first impact. A kinetic rod, simple tungsten wrapped around an antimatter core, struck the mothership's engine section at relativistic speed. The shield held, but barely. They understand our weaknesses, the tactical officer said, mandibles trembling. These are not the actions of prey. A second transmission from Earth reached them. We studied your biology from the scout you sent. Your thermal vision is excellent, but near-ultraviolet wavelengths render you functionally blind. Your ship's energy signatures were mapped years ago. Rask slammed his blade limb into the command console. Send the second wave. Full planetary assault. The order was never received. Earth's defensive grid had already closed the trap, forming a net of overlapping fields that scrambled Valkyrie communications. Ship after ship found itself isolated, surrounded by smaller human vessels that attacked with ruthless efficiency. On Earth, Admiral Ward watched the tactical display as green indicators representing human ships swarmed the larger red dots of Valkyrie vessels. There was no hesitation in their movements, no mercy in their methods. They expected us to run, she murmured. They thought we would scatter like rabbits before wolves. Her second-in-command, General Thomas, stood silently beside her. They've encountered hunters before. They've never encountered executioners. The Valkyrie retreat began 17 hours after their initial attack. By then, Half their fleet lay in ruins. The Valkyrie High Command received Commander Rask's distress signal 3 days after their expected victory celebration. Instead of triumph, they watched grainy footage of their fleet's destruction, transmitted in bursts before Rask's escape pod was itself destroyed. High Commander Vextra, eldest and most decorated of the Valkyrie conquerors, felt a sensation alien to the species: uncertainty. "These humans fight differently," his military advisor observed. "They do not engage in ritual combat or showing of strength. They simply exterminate. They are mammals," Vextra hissed. "Prey species. This cannot stand." The Valkyrie response was overwhelming. 100 ships, their most powerful armada, departed for Earth, with orders to sterilize the entire planet. No conquest, no slaves, only annihilation for this insult to Valkyrie dominance. What they didn't know was that humanity was no longer confined to Earth. As the Valkyrie armada approached the Sol system, they encountered no resistance. Earth's orbital defenses were silent. Scans showed normal human activity on the planet's surface. "They've expended their defensive capabilities," the fleet commander reported to High Command. "The planet is defenseless." Vextra's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. "Begin the cleansing." The first Valkyrie ship to enter Mars orbit disintegrated without warning. Then another, and another. Hidden within Mars' crust and beneath its polar caps, human quantum disruptors. Technology the Valkyrie had believed impossible for such a young species tore apart the molecular bonds of Valkyrie hulls. Simultaneously, the moons of Jupiter revealed their true nature. Not natural satellites, but massive military installations disguised by holographic technology, their weapons powered by the gas giant's magnetosphere. This was never about defending Earth, Admiral Ward explained to the United Nations Security Council as they watched the battle from a bunker beneath the Himalayas. This was about showing them why humans are the most dangerous species they've ever encountered. For the first time in recorded history, the Valkyrie found themselves hunted. Human ships pursued the retreating armada beyond Neptune's orbit, methodically eliminating stragglers. They employed no battle cries, no ritualistic challenges, only silent, efficient destruction. The Valkyrie flagship, commanded by Vextra's own offspring, broadcast a final message before self-destructing rather than facing capture. They do not hunt like predators. They exterminate like a force of nature. On Earth, humanity's leaders debated their next move. "We could sue for peace," suggested the Chinese representative. "They've learned their lesson." Admiral Ward shook her head. "The Valkyrie only understand dominance. If we show mercy now, they'll return with greater numbers." The decision was made with a cold logic that would have impressed the Valkyrie themselves, had any survived to witness it. Humanity would take the war to the enemy's homeworld. Project Exodus, long hidden beneath the Pacific Ocean, revealed its true purpose. Not an art to save humanity from extinction, but a fleet of warships designed for interstellar combat, powered by dark energy reactors, and equipped with weapons based on principles the Valkyrie had never mastered. They departed Earth's orbit 6 months after repelling the invasion. Admiral Ward, now commanding the UES Retribution, addressed her crew before the jump to faster-than-light travel. "We are not conquerors. We are not explorers. Today, we are humanity's immune response to a galactic infection." The Valkyrie believed themselves apex predators because they'd never met a species that evolved not just to hunt, but to completely eliminate threats. The fleet vanished into the void, leaving behind a solar system bristling with defenses should any other species mistake humanity's expansion for vulnerability. The Valkyrie homeworld, Valksha, was a planet of perpetual twilight under a dim red sun. Its surface was a tapestry of dark forests and vast savannas, where the ruling species had evolved from ambushed predators into sentient conquerors. High Commander Vextra stood before the Grand Assembly, his decorated carapace dulled with shame. "The human counterattack approaches. Our remaining fleets cannot stop them." For the first time in their history, the Valkyrie faced extinction. Their communication networks had intercepted human transmissions, translated their intent. This was not conquest or subjugation. This was elimination. How? Demanded the matriarch, her ancient form trembling with rage. How can prey become such efficient killers? The answer came from an unexpected source, the Valkyrie's own xenobiologists who had studied Earth's evolutionary history. "Humans are not prey that learn to fight," explained the chief scientist. "They are predators that learn to cooperate. Their ancestors did not ambush from darkness like ours. They pursued their targets until collapse, hunting in coordinated groups. They did not kill quickly. They exhausted their prey over days, tracking them relentlessly. The assembly chamber filled with the clicking of alarmed mandibles. But their most dangerous adaptation was not physical. The scientists continued. It was cognitive. Humans developed something we lack: the ability to conceptualize threats beyond the immediate. They don't just fight what attacks them, they eliminate what might attack them in the future. Vextra absorbed this revelation with dawning horror. We attacked a species that evolved to exterminate threats completely. The human fleet arrived in Valksha's system 3 cycles later. Their message was broadcast on all frequencies. We gave you one chance to retreat and never return. You chose escalation. Humans don't leave enemies at our back. The Valkyrie launched every ship, deployed every weapon. Their warriors fought with desperate ferocity, but as ship after ship fell to the human advance, the truth became undeniable. This was not a battle between predator and prey. This was pest control. Admiral Ward stood on the observation deck of the UES Retribution, watching as Valksha's orbital defenses crumbled before the human assault. 6 months of relentless warfare had brought them here, to the heart of the enemy's civilization. Final defensive line breached, her tactical officer reported. Their command structure is in disarray. Ward nodded, her face impassive. Prepare the ultimatum package. The transmission sent to the Valkyrie planetary government contained no threats, no demands for surrender, only information. Detailed files on Earth's history. The extinctions humans had caused. The species wiped out through hunting or habitat destruction. The wars waged against their own kind with increasingly devastating weapons. We want them to understand what they've awakened. Ward explained to her officers. Before we offer them a choice. On Valksha's surface, the Grand Assembly received the transmission with stunned silence. The human historical record revealed a species that had systematically eliminated competitors, predators, and threats throughout its development. A species that had nearly destroyed itself multiple times with weapons of mass destruction, yet emerged stronger each time. A species that, once united against an external threat, applied the cold logic of extinction with methodical precision. High Commander Vextra spoke first after the presentation ended. They're showing us what they are capable of. This is not a boast, it is a warning. The second human transmission arrived moments later. It was brief. Your species attacked ours unprovoked. Our evolutionary response to threats is not to dominate them, but to eliminate them entirely. However, we recognize in your biology and culture a reflection of our own violent past. We offer you one option for survival: complete, verifiable disarmament of all offensive military capability and acceptance of human oversight in your future development. You have one planetary rotation to decide. The debate in the assembly was fierce but brief. The evidence of human intent was irrefutable. The Valkyrie surrendered unconditionally. Admiral Ward accepted the surrender personally, landing on Valksha with a small contingent of officers. Standing before the Grand Assembly, she delivered humanity's final message. Your species mistook technological advancement for evolutionary superiority. You believed yourselves apex predators of the galaxy because you had never encountered humanity. We don't hunt for sport or dominance. When threatened, we execute with absolute finality. Remember this lesson, because you're being given something we rarely offer: a second chance. The Pax Humana that followed forever changed the galaxy's power structure. Other species that had suffered under Valkyrie expansion now looked to humanity with a mixture of gratitude and terror. The message spread across star systems. Humans were not to be provoked, for they had learned what the Valkyrie discovered too late. Humans don't hunt, they execute.